يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, O you who have believed, لَا تَقْتُلُوا الصَّيْدَ, do not kill game, وَأَنْتُمْ حُرُمْ, while you are in the state of ihram. So over here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that hunting in the state of ihram is not permissible. So after mentioning in the previous ayah that you will be tested, now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions as to what the rulings are pertaining to hunting. That are you allowed to hunt in ihram or not? And if you do so, then what are the consequences? So, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تَقْتُلُوا الصَّيْدَ وَأَنْتُمْ حُرُمْ. The word sayd, as I mentioned to you earlier, is an animal that is hunted. Why? For the purpose of food, consumption. Remember that the word sayd, as a technical definition, it applies to al-haywan al-barri, meaning a land animal. A land animal. It does not include sea animals or water animals. So, which animal is this? A land animal. Secondly, a sayd is that which is al-ma'kul, meaning it is edible, in the sense that it is halal. For example, even though a pig is a land animal, if you hunt it, that doesn't make it halal. Why? Because in and of itself, it is not ma'kul. It is not something that is edible. And thirdly, it is al-mutawahhish, meaning it is wild, it is untamed. It is wild, it is untamed. So for example, a deer, or moose, what else? Buffalo, what else? Use your mind, be imaginative. A rabbit, giraffe, zebra, birds. Obviously those animals that are permissible to eat. Remember that those animals that have fangs, that hunt other animals, they're not permissible. Like for example, a lion, a wolf, a tiger, they're not permissible. Hyena, not permissible. But animals that don't have fangs, and they're basically herbivores, they are permissible for us to eat. So as-sayd, first of all, al-haywan al-barri, al-ma'kul, al-mutawahhish. A land animal that is edible, meaning it is halal, and it is also wild. So لا تقتلوا الصيد وأنتم حرم. Don't hunt animals while you are in the state of ihram. And what does it mean by hurum? Hurum is the plural of haram, and it refers to one who is in the state of ihram. He is in pilgrimage attire, having the intention for hajj or umrah, or he is in the area of haram. So لا تقتلوا الصيد وأنتم حرم. ومن قتله منكم. And whoever of you killed it from among you. Meaning whoever hunts an animal among you, متعمدا, deliberately, in the state of ihram or in the area of haram. Now just one thing before we move on. Over here it has mentioned لا تقتلوا الصيد. Now I have a question for you. If a person is traveling and he has 2 goats with him, one goat he's going to offer as sacrifice, the other goat he's taking for himself that he's going to eat it. Is he allowed to slaughter it? Yes. Why? Because over here, لا تقتلوا الصيد. This is hunting animal, which is why al-mutawahhish, wild, is a condition. وَمَنْ قَتَلَهُ مِنْكُمْ مُتَعَمِّدًا. Who is muta'ammid? One who does something deliberately, intentionally. So whoever deliberately, intentionally hunts an animal in the state of ihram, meaning he doesn't do it out of forgetfulness, he doesn't do it by mistake, he deliberately kills the animal out of hunting when in the state of ihram. فَجَزَاءُ, so his recompense, meaning فَعَلَيْهِ جَزَاء, on him is recompense. He has to pay a fine. Now the word jaza has been used over here, because the word jaza is used for compensation, and it gives a sense of exactly the same. It gives a sense of exactly the same. So he has to give an equal, meaning he has to give an animal that is the same. Mislu, like, meaning similar to, ma, that which, qatala, he killed, min al-na'am, of the grazing livestock. So the recompense is what? That he has to offer an animal as sacrifice. And this animal that he's going to offer as sacrifice is going to be similar to the animal that he hunted. It has to be similar to the animal that he hunted. And obviously it's going to be of which animals? An-na'am, the grazing livestock. So for example, if a person, let's say he hunted a deer, deliberately. He hunted a deer in the state of ihram. Now, the recompense is that he has to give the same animal. Now, is he going to go hunt for a deer? What if he cannot find a deer? So in that case, what's the solution? That an animal from the grazing livestock that is similar to the animal that you hunted, you're going to offer that in sacrifice. So for example, if a deer has been hunted, then what is he going to offer as sacrifice? A goat, for instance. If an ostrich has been hunted, then what is he going to do? A camel. Ostrich and camels are very similar. Similarly, if a person hunts a wildebeest or a buffalo, a wild buffalo, then what is he going to offer? A cow. So basically an animal that is similar. Similar in what sense? In its appearance. So مِثْلُ مَا قَتَلَ مِنَ النَّعْمِ. So who is going to decide that which animal is similar to the animal that he hunted? يَحْكُمُ, he is going to judge. He is going to decide. Bihi, with it, meaning about it. About the equivalent animal from the grazing livestock. Who is going to judge concerning it? Dhawa, two possessors of adlin, of justice, minkum, among you. Dhawa is the dual of dhu. And adl is justice. What does it mean by dhu adl? It is said that adl is istiqama, meaning it is steadfastness in deen, in religion, and also in having a good relationship with people. So basically, when a person is known for his deen, for his religiosity, and he's also known for his good treatment to people, meaning he has a good relationship with people in general. So for example, this person, he performs the fara'id. You see him, he comes to the masjid. You see him, he has done the hajj. You see him, he fasts in the month of Ramadan. He performs the fara'id. He abstains from the kaba'ir. He does not commit any major sins. His house is not on mortgage, for example. And he is not persistent on small sins, on minor sins. And at the same time, he has a good relationship with other people. That he is good towards them. He is not harsh towards them. And remember that this standard varies from time to time and place to place, culture to culture. What is good in your society may not be considered good in another society. Somebody was telling me about how their children, they just moved to an Arab country, and the teacher of the children came over to teach them Quran. And the children were just sitting over there. So the teacher said that your children have no manners. Why? Because the children did not get up to greet the teacher. They did not kiss the hand of the teacher. Because they had no idea. So this varies from culture to culture, place to place, time to time. So dhawa adlin, meaning in your society, in your place, they should be known for their goodness. They should be known for their piety. So these two men, these two people are going to decide as to which animal is equivalent to the animal that you hunted. And this animal that you're finally going to select, and you're going to give as jaza, meaning you're going to sacrifice in place of what? As a recompense for what? As the animal that you hunted. So this animal is going to be hadiyan. What is hadiyan? An animal offered in sacrifice where? In the area of haram. So hadiyan, because hadiyan literally is from the root letters hadaliya, and what does it mean? To go from one place to the other. Hidayah is what? Guidance. That when you're led from one point to the other point. So hadiyan, meaning this animal is going to be led, it's going to be taken to, it's going to be transported to, from outside of the haram to inside of the haram. Why? To be sacrificed over there. So hadiyan baligh al-Ka'bati, meaning it's going to be slaughtered when it has reached the Kaaba. Now does it mean that it's going to be slaughtered inside the Kaaba, right outside the Kaaba? What does it mean? That in the area of the Kaaba. So basically the requirement is that the animal is going to be slaughtered in the area of the haram. in the area of the haram. And it cannot be slaughtered before it reaches there. Baligh is one that reaches. So only when it reaches, then it's going to be slaughtered. Upon reaching, it's going to be slaughtered. It cannot be slaughtered before it reaches the destination. So hadiyan baligh al-Ka'bati. So let's go back a little bit. What's the crime that has been committed over here? That in the state of ihram, a person hunted a wild animal. What does he have to do now? The animal that he hunted, two people are going to decide as to which animal is similar to that animal from the grazing livestock. That animal is going to be decided. Let's say it's a cow. Let's say it's a goat. It's decided. Now where is it going to be taken? To the haram. And over there, it's going to be slaughtered. When? When it reaches there. This is the first option. Or another option is that a person is going to give a kafaratun. He's going to give an expiation. And what is kafara? A fidya that covers a sin. So that no effect, no consequence of the sin remains on the person's heart, in his record, before people. The sin is completely wiped off. So, or he's going to give a kafara. And what is that kafara? That he is to ta'amu masakin. He has to feed who? Needy people. Now, how many needy people is he going to feed? How many meals is he supposed to give? And which masakin are these? Basically, the animal that is going to be decided. For example, the two people judge, it has to be a goat. So, it's going to be decided as to how many meals can you take out from a goat? How many meals on average? Any idea? It depends on how you cook it. But it doesn't mean that you just give stock to people, okay? It means that you give them like proper meat to eat. So let's say, I don't know if this is a good estimate or not, but let's say 30. I'm sure it could be more, but let's just say 30. So 30 meals can be taken out from a goat, for instance. So ta'amu masakin, what does it mean? That 30 masakin are going to be fed. If it's a camel, let's say 50 meals can be taken out. So how many masakin are going to be fed? 50. So, ta'amu masakin. Now, which food is this? Which food is he going to feed the masakin? The animal that he slaughtered? No. Because this is a different option that is being given over here. If he was going to slaughter the animal, then yes, it's going to be slaughtered in the haram and it's going to be distributed amongst the needy over there. The meat is going to be distributed amongst the needy over there. This is another option, that you cannot do this. You cannot find the animal, you cannot slaughter the animal, you cannot afford to do that. Then in that case, what are you going to do? You are going to find needy people and you're going to give them meals. How many meals? Depending on how many meals you can take out from the animal. And this food could be any food. It could be vegetables, it could be another animal, it could be any food. So ta'amu masakin, this is general. Now over here we see that choice is being given. What does show? The choice is being given. Some have said a person has this choice that he can either slaughter the animal or he can feed the needy. It's up to you, whatever is convenient for you. Just imagine a person cannot go to the Kaaba at that time. How will he take the animal to slaughter the animal over there? He cannot do that. So he's going to figure out, okay, how many meals, and he's going to feed the needy wherever he is. So basically, a choice is being given. A person can do whatever he finds easy for himself, whatever is feasible for him to do. Others have said that this choice is only applicable if there is no equivalent animal of livestock that can be found. Let's say a person hunted a small bird. Now what is its equivalent from the na'im, from the grazing livestock? Chicken is not grazing livestock. Or let's say a person hunted a rabbit. Now what's its equivalent from the grazing livestock? There is no equivalent from the grazing livestock. So in that case, what is he going to do? The second option, which is that he's going to figure out, okay, from a rabbit you can get 3 meals. So he has to feed 3 needy. A bird, you can serve 1 person. So he's going to feed 1 needy person. So some say that this choice is applicable to any situation, meaning depending on what is feasible for a person. And secondly, others say that this choice is applicable only if there is no equivalent that can be found from the grazing livestock. أو كفارة طعام مساكين. Or عدل ذلك صياما. Or equivalent to that in fasting. Meaning a person can fast the equal number of days. Equal number of days to what? To the number of the needy that he is going to feed. So let's say he hunted a deer. It was decided a goat is to be slaughtered. You can take out 30 meals from that. He decides, I'm not going to slaughter a goat because I cannot go to the Kaaba right now. Therefore, I'm just going to feed 30 needy people. Now, he cannot find 30 needy people. He can only find 25. So in that case, what does he do? He's going to fast 30 days. He's going to fast 30 days. So, أَوْ عَدْلُ ذَلِكَ صِيَامًا لِيَذُوقَ, so that he tastes وَبَالَ أَمْرِهِ, the consequence of his action. Which action? Which deed? Which matter? Hunting in the state of ihram. So this punishment is so that a person may taste the consequence. The word wabal is from the root letters waw, ba, lam. And wabal is the evil consequence of something. Afallahu, Allah has pardoned. Amma salafa, from what has passed before. Salafa from the root letters sin, lam, fa. Meaning whatever has happened before, Allah has forgiven you for that. What does it refer to? That before this command was given. Especially at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. So a person is not going to see, oh, when I went for Umrah, then I hunted a deer. So in that case, I have to give the kafara now? No. Why? Because the command was not given at that time. So, afallahu amma salaf, whatever has happened thus far has already happened. You're not held accountable for what you did in ignorance. وَمَنْ عَادَ, but whoever returned, meaning whoever repeats this action of what? Hunting in the state of ihram. فَيَنْتَقِمُ اللَّهُ مِنْهُ, Allah is going to take revenge from him. Look at this. يَنْتَقِمُ, that after you know what you're not allowed to do, if you still do it, remember Allah is going to take revenge from you. He is going to punish you. And some punishments, as you know, they are shar'i, and other punishments are qadri. So فَيَنْتَقِمُ اللَّهُ مِنْهُ وَاللَّهُ عَزِيزٌ ذُو انْتِقَامٍ, and Allah is mighty, and He is also the possessor of retribution. So we see over here that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught us to honor the deen, to honor their religion, to respect their religion, to respect all of the commands, all of the rulings, all of the sha'a'ir of the religion. This is why there are some restrictions that are applied when a person is in the state of ihram. Why? For the purpose of discipline. Therefore, it is incumbent upon the person who is in the state of ihram, meaning the muhrim, that when he leaves his house to perform Hajj or Umrah, then he should maintain his discipline and he should refrain from hunting. And if a person does hunt, then what does he have to do? He has to give the kafara. What is the kafara? To summarize, the animal that he hunted, it's equivalent from the grazing livestock. If he cannot find an animal that is equivalent from the grazing livestock, or it is not feasible for him to take that animal and slaughter it in the haram, then what is he going to do? He's going to feed needy people. If he's not able to do that, then what is he going to do? Fast. So basically, there is a choice that is being given over here. And whatever has happened in the past, in the days of ignorance, that is over now, you should be careful about what you do in the future. What do we learn from this ayah? First of all, we learn about the prohibition of hunting in the state of ihram. Secondly, we learn that hunting in the state of ihram goes against iman. Why? Because Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Thirdly, not hunting in ihram perfects iman. Because Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. So if a person does not hunt in the state of ihram, then what is he doing? He is improving his iman. He is perfecting his iman. And leaving sayd, leaving hunting, not hunting in the state of ihram also increases iman. So when a person stays away from the haram, even when he has the opportunity to do it, what does it do? Leaving the haram, what does it do? It increases him in his iman. Because if he will do it, then it's going to distract him from the worship of Allah. And if he stays away from it, he's not going to be distracted. Automatically, he's going to be increasing in his iman. We also learn from this ayah that a person who leaves ma'asiyah, a person who leaves an act of disobedience, even though it is very easy for him to commit it, what does it do? It increases him in his iman. Because in the previous ayah we learned that Allah is definitely going to test you in situations where committing a sin will be very easy for you. So if a person leaves the sin out of the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is it going to do? It's going to increase him in his iman. Because Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, Iman has been mentioned over here. Remember that a person leaves a sin for several reasons. One is that a person leaves it out of the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So for example, a person finds the opportunity and he intends to do it. Let's say a person thinks that, oh, I have money now, let me go and buy a music video, for example. So my parents are not going to know. I have the money, I'll just go get it. So he has the opportunity, he has the ability, and he has the intention. But then he thinks that no, this is not right. Allah doesn't like it. So he decides that he is not going to do it. Is this going to increase his Iman? Yes, it is. Another reason why sometimes people leave ma'asiyah. And what is it? The fear of people. The fear of people. Is that going to increase his Iman? No. Because he's not doing it for the sake of Allah. Another reason why sometimes people leave ma'asiyah is because of aversion for the ma'asiyah, because of dislike for the ma'asiyah. That, for example, a person thinks that, oh, I'll get this music video, I'll buy it. And the next day he's like, no, I don't think I like it anymore. Why should I waste my money on it? I've watched it, I'm not interested anymore. I'll get something else. Or I won't waste my money here. So he changes his mind. Is that going to increase in his Iman? No, it's not going to benefit him. What benefits a person? When he leaves an act of disobedience out of the fear of Allah, that is going to increase him in his Iman. Then we also learn from this ayah about the prohibition of hunting for the muhrim, that a person who is in a state of ihram, he cannot hunt, and this means that he cannot even cooperate with anyone who is hunting. He cannot even cooperate with anyone who is hunting. Let's say a group of people are traveling together. 5 of them are in the state of ihram. One of them is not performing umrah. He's only going for his business trip. He's not in the state of ihram. He sees a rabbit. He wants to hunt it. So he says, oh, can you give me the spear? And you're in the state of ihram. Are you going to give it? You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to cooperate in any way whatsoever. Similarly, if you spot the rabbit and he doesn't, are you allowed to tell him? You're not allowed to cooperate in this in any way whatsoever. Similarly, if you are in the state of ihram and he's not in the state of ihram, and you tell him, can you please hunt that from me? I can't hunt because I'm in the state of ihram. Can you do it? And if a person hunts for the muhrim at his request, then in that case, the muhrim is not allowed to eat it. If a person hunts for the muhrim, then in that case, the muhrim, meaning the one in the ihram, he's not allowed to eat it. Then they hunt and they bring it to you, then you can eat it. As long as they didn't hunt it for you. Like for example, I'll just mention the hadith to you. Sarb, who said that he gave a zebra as a gift to the Prophet ﷺ in the area of Abwa. But the Prophet ﷺ gave it back. And when the Prophet ﷺ saw the effect of his returning the gift on Sarb's face, he said, we only give it back to you because we are in a state of ihram. So here, why did he return it? Because he thought that he hunted the zebra for him. This is why he refused to take it. We also learned that Abu Qatada, he hunted a zebra when he was not in the state of ihram, and he offered it to those who were in the state of ihram. They hesitated to eat from it, and they asked the Prophet ﷺ, and he said, did any of you point at it or help kill it? They said no. So he said, then eat it. And the Prophet ﷺ also ate from it. So what does it show? That in the state of ihram, you cannot cooperate, you cannot tell them to hunt, and if they hunt it for themselves, and they bring it to you, then you are allowed to eat it, provided that they didn't hunt it for your sake. And another very important thing that we must remember is that the kafara is applicable only when a person deliberately hunts. Only when a person deliberately hunts. If a person kills an animal of sayd by mistake, that let's say he was shooting at the tree and he didn't know there was a bird sitting over there, and the spear or whatever, it hit the bird and the bird died. So in that case, he's not going to give the kafara. Why? Because it was an accident. He didn't intend to kill the bird. Now tell me something. Is he allowed to eat the bird? No. Why? He didn't say Bismillah. He's not allowed to eat it. Why? Because he didn't say Bismillah when he was shooting. Similarly, if a person hunts while forgetting that he is in the state of ihram. Just imagine a person, he doesn't realize that he is in the state of ihram and he hunts. Like for example, he has his gun with him just for the sake of protection. And all of a sudden he sees a deer. He's like, oh, Bismillah, shoot. So does he have to give the kafara? No. Why? Because he did it unintentionally. He did it by mistake. Because the word over here is muta'ammidan. The word over here is muta'ammidan. And remember, there are many evidences in the Quran and Sunnah from which we learn that if a person does something by mistake, by forgetfulness, he is not held accountable.